Hey guys, welcome back. Kind of a different one, not in the garage this time, but I've come to realize that my 2001 GSXR 750 has a bad coil, and I actually wasn't really sure what to do about testing for that and everything like that, so I learned, and now I want to make a quick little tutorial on how to do so. So what I've got here is I've got my multimeter, all four coils, and I've actually, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. I've put numbers on them. They don't correspond to the cylinder they came from because I pulled them and then didn't even look to see which cylinder they came out of. But I've numbered them just so I would be able to keep track of them while they're being tested. I'm planning on replacing all four of them, so it's kind of a moot point whether or not they go to the actual cylinder. But I believe there were one or two possibly that are bad. So what you want to do first is set your multimeter to 200 ohm resistance, right, like so, and then you want to cross the tips of the sensors like this, just to see how much resistance you have basically in your sensors. I did this, and it came up with a 0.9 ohms, right, so I've got it labeled meter resistance 0.9 ohms, right, so I know that whatever the resistance is between the two male poles at the top of the coil, I subtract that. Right? And so what I've done now is gone through one by one. So here's coil 1, for example, right? I tested the top. I did top to top. So that's the male pole here and the male pole there. And I actually connected them to the two of them using the ohms sensor there. And they came back with 2.4 ohms. What I do is take 2.4 and subtract 0.9, right? So this is what the meter has inherently, and so that minus this minus that, for example, gives me the total resistance. Just as a reference, I looked it up, and it looks like these coils should have a top-to-top resistance of 1.2 and a top-to-bottom resistance of 12.0 to 12.5, right? So I looked at this one. This one's pretty close. It's actually a 1.5, so a little high top to top, right? So that's for the first one. And if you look down here, all my calculations, just basically the tests. So 2.1, this is going to put it at about a 1.3, so it's right on the money for the upper number. But notice across these, all four of them, kind of the top to bottom resistance is a bit off. 11.5, 11.5, 11.5, 11.8, right? So we see they're lower than they should be. It should be between about 12 and 12.5. So not terrible, but below the desired range. And this might explain why the bike does run, but feels like it's running badly. It's kind of got, and you've probably seen the video, it's kind of got this sort of limp mode vibe to it where it's running, but like it's just struggling to stay up. And the other part is if I flip the throttle like this, go to blip the throttle a little bit, it immediately dies, which to me says it's got enough fuel. What it's lacking is spark, right? So if I introduce more fuel, it's basically flooding it. There's not enough spark to ignite the fuel beyond just the low throttle, and I think the it's idling right now at like barely 1,000, maybe like 900 RPM. The other thing I want to point out here too is I've got fairly consistent, so 2.4 a little high, 2.1 right around the mark. It jumps up to 4.3, so this is coil 3. It's a little bit high for the top to top. The resistance there is kind of out, and there's the slight variability down here. The other ones are pretty consistent. This one might explain why I'm not getting a good spark. This might be the dead one. Likewise, this higher resistance down here might also be it. So what I'm going to do is just replace all four. But if you go to test, this is, I think, an excellent way to do it. And if you've got a multimeter, you can just look at the resistance. So I've just pulled all four of them and run through it like that. I have already ordered the new ones just because they need to be done, obviously. And this is a 25-year-old bike that hasn't run in 10 years. So I think it's just good policy anyway. And I think I paid, $50 for a set of four. So anyway, hopefully this will help you too. I will post another video on hopefully, fingers crossed, now the bike running really well. So follow up, I'll show you guys that. I'll post that as soon as it's ready to go. But as always, thanks for watching. And if you can, hit that like and subscribe button. That would help me out. Have a good one.